Hi guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we have got a TikTok mums behaving badly. It's a little series that I do. Are the mums behaving badly? That's kind of up to your interpretation. I get recommended a lot of mum content, and with a lot of mum content, there's always a bit of drama. Just go look for it. There is a playlist. This is the 6th edition. So yeah, happy you're here. We've actually got 3 different creators that have popped up on my FYP. First and foremost, we have Scarlet and Tiana. We have another creator called Alicia, another person kicked out of a restaurant for their kids' behavior. And then third and foremost, we have a mum, although she isn't in the drama, it's actually her daughter and her son-in-law who basically left her in a car because they couldn't all go and get steak. Okay, so let's guide through it. We're going to get there. Everyone seated. Everyone got their coffee or their juice or their wine. I don't know what you're drinking. I don't know what the time is, where it is with you right now at this moment of upload. So, Scarlet and Tiana, I think this was last year or the year before. I can't remember when it was, but she was that lady caught on live stream yelling at her kid. People were saying that she put her middle finger up at her child, who was quite little at the time.
Oh, I don't have time to do that. Your brother's gonna do it in the car. Get in your seat now. Let's go. Come on.
Do
you know where your brush is? Huh?
I don't want to be in there. I don't want to be in there.
Tell everybody bye.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, all right, bye. She doesn't want to be on camera, so we gotta go. Bye.
Sorry.
It's okay. If you don't want to be on it, that's fine. All right, here. Bye, y'all.
I've got no problem with mum content. The issue I have is when parents make their child front and center and exploit them for a hell of a lot of money. One of the worst people who really do puts her kids front and center. Like, for instance, she's always been that parent who, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is, she will go live, and like she used to do these like daily affirmations with her daughter, and she used to do all this and that. You know that a majority of the people commenting, yeah, there are going to be some young people, but if you have a little look at people's profile pictures, a lot of them are like middle-aged women and some middle-aged men who are commenting because, you know, they like feeling involved in the family. A lot of people will have good intentions. Always going to be that small percent that do not have good intentions. As she has been called out for lashing out in a verbal way towards her daughter. That was not an isolated event with the like middle finger, but some people say she did, some people said she didn't. Either way, it was aggressive, and her child was crying because she was letting her mum down because she didn't want to be on camera that day. So if you're a child and though you're that young, already have this worry that you're letting your mum down because you don't want to be on camera that day, that's not a good thing.
We are all not perfect. Everybody's got something they got to work on. Everybody does. Mine happens to be my patient and me getting frustrated and yelling.
She made one video crying a couple years ago saying, you know, I have anger issues and sometimes I lash out. Also come out and made a more lengthier post, almost, you know, angry at the fact that people keep on clipping her when she's not being very nice to her child, and then uploading it almost to say like, well, that's weird. Like, why would you do that?
I've already addressed it back in September when I uploaded a video of me and Scarlett doing we were building this thing, and I yelled at Scarlett. I apologized to Scarlett. Yes, I'm impatient. Yes, I feel like sometimes, I don't want to say anger issues. I don't want to say that. It's like when I'm PMSing, then I get a little irritable, and yes, I should not have yelled at Scarlett. I do not force Scarlett to do anything. And if y'all know me and if y'all have seen the dynamics between her and I, it's very like, come on, Scarlett, hurry the freak up, okay? And she's like, hey, you ain't gotta yell. Is it the best parenting? Probably not, okay? But you know what? Dadgummit, I'm freaking doing the best I can as a single mom raising 3 children on my own. Video that was a live about the money situation. That was a live that was done 3 years ago. And someone screen recorded it because people, I'm not quite sure why people do that. It's super freaking weird, but whatever. Someone screen recorded it and they only screen recorded just a little bit of it. They didn't screen record the whole thing. So basically, someone had asked, what are you going to do if Scarlet don't want to do videos anymore?
People just want to hold these people accountable, especially people who are using their child to make a hell of a lot of money.
Oh, my daughter is good. She's good. And she loves doing videos. And if she doesn't, then we do what? Then we're like, okay, well, we just won't do them anymore. That's what I told her. Because mommy will find another way to make money. Okay?
From a mum to mum level, we all have had those moments where we have regretted raising our voices. We have regretted something that we said. Like, if you can't sit there and tell me that you've never regretted something that you've done or said to your child in a moment of like overwhelmness, it happens to the best of us. We are also not the people who are relying on our child to make money that month. And she has come out and she has said, if my child doesn't want to appear on camera, I'm just going to find another way to make money. I found that really dystopian because you don't often hear a lot of these mums who exploit their children. You don't often hear those words come out of their mouth because you're saying the silent part out loud. The reasoning why I've given you such a lengthy backstory, because some of you may not know who these people are, is because recently they went like car shopping for a brand new car. There was a part before they went to go and actually view it where people were literally like calling the child ungrateful and saying, you know, who's the person in charge, because her child was being, you know, a bit touchy on the fact that when her mum was saying, we're going to go and look at my car or whatever, the child got a little bit touchy with that, going, well, no, it's our car.
We're going to just test drive stuff. We're going to test drive a couple of vehicles. We're not sure which one we want to get. Excuse me. I want to get Scarlet and me want to get, right?
Why do you say only you want to get?
No, I'm just saying because I'm gonna be the one driving it. I know, but you're gonna be the one riding, right? The passenger princess says so. Scarlet's no. What's the word I'm looking for? No deal breaker is captain seats. Gotta have captain seats, right? So you can have your catwalk, right? Okay. My no deal breakers are. It's got to be white or black, leather interior. I do love captain seats, yes. I like it because I don't like that whole bench and then you gotta put it down and you gotta crawl over. It's just a hot mess. Non-negotiables. That's the word I was looking for. Non-negotiables. All right. What else is your do you have any other non-negotiables? Anything else that has to be in the car, or you know what? I ain't riding it. An iPad? Oh, a screen? They're not all gonna have that. I don't think that should be a non-negotiable because, I mean, we got our phones, you know, we just strap a phone up there.
Because it can.
Why not?
Because it can.
Okay. I'm going to let you guys come along with us today. So, what's wrong with you? Huh? What? Because you want the screens? What's your problem? I can go by myself. You want me to go by myself? This should be fun.
That she wanted to have like a third row, so more of a walkway. She also really wanted screens. People in the comment section were literally calling like, oh, who's in charge? Because, you know, she's a child and, you know, your parents turning around and going, well, actually, I don't think that should be a thing. And the thing is, right, if we were talking about a standard case, and I don't know if I'm in the minority for saying this, what I thought was that give the child a screen. Give that child a screen. She has made you that money. You best believe you'd be getting her a screen. And in any other case of a child acting bratish because they couldn't get the car with this and that, when in actual, you know, it's the parent, because the parent's the one driving. It's their car. Any other case, I'd say, yeah, your child might be used to getting things, and that's the reason why they're acting out. In this case, you know, she has earned that money. She has literally been used on camera, exploited on camera since such a young age, like tiny age. Give that child what she wants in that car, because at the end of the day, they would not be able to buy that car without that child being present and being exploited online. People were saying, you know, she needs to rein in her attitude. And in any other situation, I'd say yeah. But I just felt bad for the child who was then walking around the car, sort of ambivalent to what was going on. She's probably very used to having nice things. But I did feel bad in the sense that, you know, if she's asking for these non-negotiables and you're just turning around and being like, oh, I can understand if that child can even comprehend it at that age, just made me rethink a lot of things that I do think about with the way that kids act. And I think in some cases, yeah, she could be used to having a lot of things. But then another aspect, you know, she could just feel like she does deserve that because she's the one making the mum money. The mum has gone on record and has said, you know, I have my own personal Instagram and that's earning me a lot. But at the end of the day, people like Scarlett has 7.1 million followers and a majority of them are following because of that little girl. Without the little girl, she would not be earning this kind of money or even be able to buy a brand new car. That's all I'm trying to get at.
What are you going to do if Scarlett don't want to do videos anymore? I said, that's fine. It was me basically saying there is like, I make really good money on my personal page of me just by myself. Okay. So if Scarlett decided she didn't want to do this anymore, that is fine. Half the time Scarlett comes to me and says, hey mom, I got this idea.
I'll have a second channel where this came up a week or so ago. I'm literally only just getting to talk about it right now. So there is this account called Alicia Mum Diaries, and it has 28.9k followers. She was asked to leave a restaurant because her kids were screaming. And Alicia just wanted to check in, like, am I in the right? Am I in the wrong?
I just got asked to leave the restaurant because my children were inconveniencing some old people. I went to go take my kids out to eat by myself and their kids. Sorry, I don't give my kids iPad. At the restaurant, trying to enjoy. They were crying, doing all the things kids do. Sitting next to a couple, an older couple. After about a couple of minutes, they came to our table and was like, can you take your kids outside? I look up at them and I'm like, what did you just say? And she was like, can you take your kids outside? They're being really loud and it's disrupting our dinner. I tell you, it took everything out of me not to fight this old lady. Simply said, no, I can't because I have 3 kids and I'm by myself. So she has to get over it. Am I the only one that thinks this is so rude? You're entitled to a kid-free life. You are not entitled to a kid-free world.
And the audience resoundingly went, we don't want to hear kids screaming while we eat. If you can't handle them in public, stay home. iPad free doesn't mean feral. Someone else said, if you can't stand kids, stay home. More like, if you can't control your kids, stay home. Yeah, because that was a part of her backing up her story in the sense, you know, if you don't like kids, then just don't go outside kind of situation. And comes out with a follow-up video stating that it was an IHOP. From my own understanding, it's a pretty kid-friendly place anyway. It's where a lot of kids and stuff will go to eat. So I'm just thinking for it to be so, for you to be asked to leave a restaurant, even if it was by some old people, I don't know, for anyone to create a big fuss about it, it would have had to have been exceptionally loud. He also says that her kids were screaming for no more than 5 minutes.
I got asked to leave a restaurant because my kids were disrupting some old people, and I clearly left out some important details. First of all, my kids were not screaming their heads off, and they were not crying for longer than 5 minutes. 12-month-old who was making most of the disruption, and then a 3-year-old, my 6-year-old, who was fine. He was sitting there peacefully and quietly. She was crying for less than 5 minutes, and this couple came up to us and asked me to take her outside. They were an old, moody couple, and I wasn't at a 5-star restaurant. I was at IHOP. Everybody takes their kids to IHOP because it's not some big fancy restaurant. Before y'all come on here and start coming at me and saying I don't know how to parent. I also had things to entertain my kids. That's another thing everyone loves to say. I make sure that I pack my kids toys and books and all of these things. Okay, great, Karen. I did that too. Correct it, they cry a little longer and then you move on. These people didn't give me more than 5 minutes before they came at me. The response isn't to this person specifically. This was actually a pretty nice comment compared to the rest. Videos for the general public that is in my comment section right now.
People were having none of it. They were saying like 5 minutes is way too long. Why are you letting your kids scream for that long? Yeah. People were pointing out, well, actually, it must have been very loud. She then comes back on with her third and final video. I will say, out of that whole thing, it was her statement saying, most of you guys are giving, I beat my kids at home so they'll behave in public.
Children should be seen and not heard. Honestly, you people are disgusting me. Like, who makes this kind of comment? Why are there so many of you guys that think this? I don't get it. Bothers me the most is that most of you guys are moms yourselves. You're literally moms and you're saying keep your kids home. So like you guys just don't take your kids out in public. Kids are just so well behaved that you never had to deal with that. Honestly, most of you guys are giving I beat my kids at home to make them be quiet in public. So that way I'm not embarrassed. That's honestly what you guys are giving, and it's weird. Also, just stop judging other people on the internet when you don't know the full story. I gave you like a little piece of the story. Did I mention I was at IHOP? And that my kids weren't even crying for that long? I'm honestly trying to put myself in your shoes. I really am. I just don't agree.
I get she was being attacked, right? But I don't think it's very fair to say that every mum or dad or whoever who has an opinion that kids need to be quiet, even if they're very little, you can always take them outside, but it's hard if you're by yourself. I get the dynamic, right? I'm not being a total bitch about this. I don't think it's fair to say that every single person who, just appreciates quietness from kids in public, like at least just not screaming, just not 5-minute screaming, is beating their kids. I don't think that's very fair to say. Now, was she being backed into a corner? Maybe. However, that's the one part about this whole entire situation. I was like, yeah, maybe let's not go down that route.
See how there's a kid crying in the background? See how I'm minding my own business? Very respectful, very classy, very demure.
And then we have our third and final installment, which you might have seen this. I didn't see the originals because they got deleted. However, I do have the clips because everyone and their mother and their grandmother and their grandfather has been uploading them. Right, set the scene. You have got a husband and a wife, right? The wife's mum is there as well in the car with their dog. Okay. You all drove hours to go to this #1 rated best steak house restaurant thing in the area. Okay, you arrive there and transpires that actually there's no outdoor seating, so you can't bring the dog in, and they can only sit tables of 2 at this moment in time. Bear this in mind, nobody called to check before they drove this voyage to go and get this steak. Now, what would you do in this situation? Would you decide to all leave? Or would your mum have to be the sacrificial lamb in this and sit in the car with the dog whilst the husband and wife go and have their steak dinner?
Mom, I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. That was totally my mistake.
Okay. Here's what happened. We thought it'd be a cute little family outing, just 3 of us. Let's of course, picked a restaurant that was literally rated the #1 steakhouse in the US. So we were ready. But plot twist, no outdoor seating, meaning no dog. And another twist, walk-ins only seat 2. So my mom and Bao made the sacrifice. They volunteered to wait in the car so our long drive wouldn't be for nothing. Not exactly the bonding moment we pictured. I end up doing laps, cutting up steak into bite-sized pieces, grabbing food from the restaurant and running it back like their personal server. So in the end, my mom got her steak, Bao got a couple bites too, and somehow it turned into this super funny night that we will always remember.
It ended up just being a little date night for Wei and I.
Restaurant, this is wrong. Not.
It's not. I should have called them.
Organisational Amy thinking cap on. I'm very organised like that. I wouldn't just go to a restaurant as a walk-in. If I had to make that kind of commute, I'd always call before, like 2 days beforehand, 3 days, a week. I'd book in advance. But, it's a last-minute expedition, last-minute voyage to the steakhouse, and yeah, fair enough. A lot of people were absolutely furious. Like, when I say they were furious, I'm not even going to read the comments. I'm just going to put some over here. People were absolutely furious. The mum has actually come on record and said her side of the story. What she's saying is that her son-in-law and her daughter have been absolutely nothing short of amazing to her. She has travelled over to come and live with them. She board for free. She has free food. They have never had a bad moment in the months that she has been living there. And it was actually the son-in-law's idea to go somewhere else, but the mum said absolutely not. You guys go and we'll just make a fun experience out of it by like shepherding the food. Said, you know, it was a fun experience. I've never experienced that before. So she did not think anything bad of the situation, and it was actually the son-in-law that wanted them all to go somewhere else. And she said absolutely not. We've already traveled, we're tired, we're hungry, this is what we're doing. She has an amazing life and they treat her magnificently, and it's been misinterpreted. A very short clip has been skewed into this horrible situation that it is not.
好，今天一早起来就看见女儿在她的房间哭，我问她发生了什么事儿，她就给我看了大家的留言。首先，我非常感谢大家对我的关心。我呢，今年63岁。4年前我59岁的时候，我女儿女婿强烈邀请我来美国跟他们团聚。来到这儿之后，我跟他们住在一个房子里，我所有的开销，吃住，包括我看病，我修理我的牙，送我去语言学校。我女婿只要有时间，因为他们工作很忙，只要有时间，我女儿尤其是我女婿就会手把手的对口型来教我学说话，送我去语言学校，送我去给我请老师教我开车。我现在已经有了驾照，每年我们都会去不同的地方旅游，让我每一天过得都很开心。我就感觉我有时候跟我女儿女婿说，我感觉我来你们家是来上大学，甚至是就是上小学吧，因为从学说话开始嘛，所以让我每一天都感觉很充实，很开心，很快乐。4年里边我们没有不开心的时候，这个是让我感到很欣慰的一件事儿。然后这次出去吃饭，就是因为我们开过来1个多小时，我女婿说不决定我们不在这儿吃，我们换个地方，已经很饿了，大家都很饿了。我建议不换地方。然后旁边的汉堡我也不爱吃，我从来不吃汉堡，我来美国4年没吃过汉堡，汉堡是我最不爱吃的一个食物。然后呢，我又不会点菜，所以我建议他们俩进去吃，吃完了给我打包回来，我回家吃就可以。我可以带着小狗狗在周围散散步，但是他们没有，他们就是一会儿女婿跑过来，一会儿女儿跑过来，说让我趁热吃，给我上一道菜，他们就给我送出来一道菜。我觉得很有趣，很好玩，是我们不一样的一种体验。大家只看到了这一个短视频，对我们这个很特殊的4口之家不是很了解，我愿意跟大家分享更多我们家的事儿。
Not me forgetting to press record on me recapping exactly what she had to say. Basically, right, looking at the flow of comments, a lot of people are saying that actually what's happened is they're using her as like a babysitter. There's loads of comments that are saying that. There's also a lot of people that are saying that the daughter is like erasing comments when the mum is trying to speak up on things that are going on. All extremely messy. I do think that the daughter maybe should have come out with an explanation rather than just be the mum. I feel like the mum is being used as a scapegoat in this situation. Now, I think people know a lot more about the other account than I do. People are saying that they've got kids and all of this and that. I don't know the absolute backstory because the account has been disabled. So it's really difficult. I do think that the daughter should have come on and actually made the video rather than the mum made it, but that's my own opinion. People are still very annoyed at the situation and are saying under no circumstances should you be leaving grandma in the car with the dog so that you guys can go and get a steak dinner, no matter if they were shepherding it to and fro.
That is pretty much everything actually that I've got to share with you guys today. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. It's very nice and sunny here. I've actually got my kids' sports day this afternoon. I know that summer holidays are drawing in on us because sports day just pops around the corner. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.